We're joined now by the Dutch football expert Elko Born. Good to see you, Elko. First of all, what's the mood like in the Netherlands ahead of this one?
I would say there's a mood over here of a quiet optimism. I think quite a lot of people are relatively optimistic about the Netherlands' chances. But then again, we do consider England to be quite a good opponent. Obviously, sometimes England haven't been that great to watch. People here in the Netherlands are saying that as well. I hear a lot of my English friends say the same thing. It's not always been enjoyable to watch England this tournament, but they have been quite effective. And we have seen that they are able to score at pivotal moments as well, score great goals. We've seen Bellingham and Kane do that, obviously. And very important as well, they won their last penalty shootout and looked quite good at penalties as well, which is quite scary for a lot of Dutch fans. So I would say, yeah, there is some optimism, but some people are a little bit afraid as well.
I might clip that up. It's so lovely to hear that people are running scared of England at penalty shootouts. It's wonderful. We've never had it before. But that's an aside. This is, of course, just the second semi-final in 20 years. So do fans feel like this is perhaps the Netherlands' time?
I would say that coming into this tournament, that was not the feeling. I can remember when Koeman was last manager of the Dutch national team before he went to Barcelona and Louis van Gaal took over from him at the last World Cup. There was quite a lot of optimism, but after the Netherlands' terrible performance at Euro 2020 under Frank de Boer, and then a relatively good performance, but still not convincing at the World Cup in Qatar. There was not that much optimism going into this tournament initially. But all things considered, they are performing quite well. They have reached the semi-final. It hasn't always been convincing, but it has been quite effective at the same time. There was a draw against France in the group stage, not that great to watch, but a point against France, not always that bad. There was the loss against Austria after that, but then two good wins against Turkey and Romania. So again, England are considered to be a tougher opponent than those last two opponents, Romania and Turkey. So this will be a great test for them. But if they manage to win this game as well, obviously, if you're in the semi-final, anything can be possible. And if these players, Van Dijk, Memphis Depay especially, are going to ever win a major tournament, then yeah, maybe this should be the tournament to do it.
Yeah, what about Cody Gakpo? Because he hasn't really nailed down his place at Liverpool, has he really? But what is it about playing for the Netherlands that brings out the best of him? He's up for the Golden Boot, potentially.
Yeah, I think he's a very important player for this Dutch national team. I think a lot of his teammates look up to him. I think Depay and especially Van Dijk are definitely the leaders of this team. But I think Gakpo won a lot of respect from a lot of Dutch players and from Dutch fans as well with his move to Liverpool. Obviously, he hasn't always been in the first team there, and he still has a lot to prove at Liverpool. But then again, he's a very young player who made a very big step in his career coming from PSV Eindhoven, from, a relatively small league like the Dutch Eredivisie, to one of the biggest clubs in the world, in probably the biggest league in the world, the Premier League. He has won a lot of respect with that. And I think that's why Koeman decided to make him one of the most important players in the team. And as we can see, he's doing quite well. I think he's the Netherlands' main attacking threat, really, this tournament. So I think he's repaying that faith that Koeman has in him. He's repaying that. And, maybe that's something for Liverpool to look forward to as well. A very confident Cody Gakpo next season.
OK, I just wanted to talk about Ronald Koeman, because back here, there's a lot of talk about Gareth Southgate, but I want to remind everyone no other nation has been more consistent in recent history. I just want to bring that to the table during this discussion. But how is Ronald Koeman thought of in the Netherlands? Is he adored by all?
I think he has won a lot of respect, obviously, in recent times, especially as manager of the Dutch national team. Obviously, he's had a very long career in football management, footballed Vitesse in the Netherlands, or managed Vitesse in the Netherlands, managed Ajax in the early 2000s. Went to Spain, went to England as well. Hasn't always done that well, but it really feels like he's found his niche as manager of the Dutch national team. Obviously, he has a lot of history as a player for the Dutch national team. Was there in 1988, the only time the Dutch won the Euros. And, he kind of has this vibe of just being a father figure in Dutch football. And I think for a lot of these players as well, there's quite a young team we have now in the Netherlands. I think a lot of players see him like that as well. And even he made his move to Barcelona, became manager there, then came back to the Dutch national team because I think all parties consider him, and I think he feels the same. Yeah, I think this is just a really great fit for him. This role as sort of a national figure, a little bit like a father figure, a nice, well-respected man. I think he's quite good at this job, particularly.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't mention 1993 and David Platt when you remembered things back then. Do you want to talk about that at all?
That's okay. I prefer 1988 when the Dutch won it.
Yeah, funny that. Look, just finally then, what sort of impact have the fans made? I have to say, we have seen all this footage on social media of thousands of Dutch fans in bright orange bouncing around. They really have brought the colour, haven't they? They're going to bring it again tomorrow night, you'd have to say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so, especially considering Dortmund, where the match is being played, is right around the border from the Netherlands. So it's very easy to just go there. I expect a lot of Dutch people to show up. And it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, at the beginning of the tournament, there wasn't that much optimism, but it's coming through now. And I'm sure that either in Dortmund or even here in Amsterdam, where I am based, if I go out tomorrow during or after the game, if the Dutch do well, I will hear those songs, the one from left to right. You can't step outside of your house and not hear that song, probably. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm hoping you don't hear any of those songs, quite frankly. Thank you very much for joining us, Elko.
Yes, thank you.